What's up, Eli?
What up, man?
Happy Friday, man. Let that beat play for a minute.
It is a happy Friday.
I want to let it go a little bit longer. That's my shit.
A little
right
long
there,
cut in the morning, man.
Those are my boys, man.
That's right.
Marine Corps infantryman just getting on these beats. I still, it's bittersweet too because he's such a good artist. But when we were serving together, all he did was rap and make fun of everyone. I wanted to beat his ass.
That's the best.
But you can't beat someone up when they rap and they like do that.
And they're good.
You can't punch them. You have to rap back, and I can't rap back. So we had a good time. Happy Friday, everyone! If you're listening. Welcome to the Day $1 podcast. You can find us live on Facebook, YouTube. You can also go to iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. We're a lot bigger there as well. I think some people just have a hard time on long-form content having to watch the video, or they can always go back to it. But my favorite thing is iTunes because you can shut your screen off and you can work out and you can still listen to it. So I know.
I'm glad you said YouTube today, though, bro. I'm glad you said it.
I'm always missing it. Speaking of YouTube, we got Mr. YouTube on today. And look, for those of you that love hearing me run my mouth, today is not the day. Eli, we got a guest on today. His name's Jackson. Eli and this dude are going to geek out and have a ton of smart stuff going on. So if you're not smart, I don't know. Have a happy Friday. Do something else. If you're like me, you're not. If you're a moron like me and you don't get the stuff, but super important stuff today because the guest that we got on, I'm gonna let him introduce himself here in a second. But some great tips and tools on how to utilize YouTube with not necessarily like spending a crap ton of money, but using it more of like a search engine. If I'm chopping this up, Jackson, here in a second, just murder me if I'm misspeaking. But he's going to shed some light on how people use YouTube as a search engine. I do all the time, believe it or not. Like I've got sciatica going on right now. I'm like a little sissy right now. But guess what? I was searching some keywords and then I find some physical therapists and they've got a whole channel on there and it's been very informative. So I didn't even realize I use YouTube like a search engine, right? So he's going to kind of get into that today. This is probably where I stop talking and I won't even be on the fucking podcast. I have a cardboard cut out of me to just stand there and it like nods his head, and then you guys are gonna geek out. And awesome. It's fair to you because we have my Marine Corps buddies on, man. We're always talking stuff, and you got to hear our knuckleheads just go off. So, but without further ado, I'm gonna let Jackson kind of introduce himself, and I always love doing this, Jackson, because I feel like when people introduce themselves in first person and really give a rundown of what they do currently, it's just better justice to the audience. If that makes sense. So why don't you introduce yourself, man, and kind of give people the rundown?
Yeah, don't worry. You're going to be included in this too, because I am not some smart brainiac dude who is a YouTube SEO guy. I just figured this shit out by working hard. But
that's how I feel about shooting,
Wilkey.
Jackson.
I'm actually,
and what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel about like a lot of things I did with like shooting. But and apparently I was pretty good.
For the record, Will fucking sandbags so that if there's something he just doesn't want to do, he acts like he's an idiot with it, and then it ends up falling on somebody else.
That's going to be pivotal into where I go. I focus on this because I'm not good at real estate, so I say I'm really bad
dude,
at it.
Our entire relationship, dude, if I didn't want to do something, I would tell E like, man, I just don't understand it, but then I would end up like fixing it for him. Like, nah, man, do it like this. And he, what? Yeah. Like, if you're going to say you don't know it,
I'm on to you.
You got to completely stay out of it. 100%.
So Jackson Wilkey, welcome, buddy.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so real quick, I'm actually here in Portland, Oregon. It's going to play into this later. I've only lived here about 2.5 years, so didn't know really anybody here or anything, and now have a giant YouTube channel. Yeah, everything you need to know about Portland, Oregon. So that'll play big into it.
What's the name of your channel, real quick, so people can?
It's called Living in Portland, Oregon, and if you want to just go to YouTube and type in "Living in Portland, Oregon," trust me, you'll find everything you need to know.
You're right there.
Our channel ranks #1 now, right there in that spot. So, Living in Portland.
Awesome. So go check that out, guys. If you're on here live streaming, pop open another browser and go check out Living in Portland. Yeah. He's got some good stuff you can take a peek at.
This is also super important too, guys, because like we were on a webinar the other day. We were on a podcast with the CEO from Berkshire Home Services, right? So pretty much one of the right-hand mans for the entire Berkshire Home Services. Going over some fun stuff, and then yesterday we were going over some stuff with our boy Manny that runs one of the guys that runs Bastards American Canteen, how they're getting creative. We were also on another Berkshire webinar, Jackson, and they were asking us like video content and podcasts and how we are, just getting creative with what's going on. We still have deals going on in Colorado. Yeah. We're still essential or critical or whatever the fuck they're calling it right now. Yeah. And so we're still getting it done. But one of the piece of advice we gave our audience when we were speaking to him was, hey, this is an ample time. So, here's how we approach video, not just podcast, but video. And here's a time where you can start building your content library. As in, if you got time right now to record 50 videos, you don't have to upload them all at once. You can go once or twice a week or yada, yada. I'll let you explain your process, Jackson. But I'm also super appreciative of having you on because I think a lot of people that have some time that might be interested in this kind of stuff, you don't really have any other excuses as into why you can't start creating this type of content.
Yeah. And to stem off of that, yes, I am the busiest I've ever been. One, because so many agents reaching out to me like, oh shit, I can't get in front of my clients now. That whole YouTube thing, video thing. Yeah, I should do that. And so they've been coming to me. Second of all, everybody's sitting at home and all these people who are wanting to move to our city or buy a house in the city, like they are binge watching our content. So YouTube right now is skyrocketing. We're getting more phone calls. Dude, we put 9 deals in escrow in the last week.
Damn.
So COVID or not, because everybody's sitting their ass on their couch just watching all of our YouTube videos about Portland and calling us. So
and people are still buying, like whether
like crazy.
And here's the
we're
deal.
having more fail sales, but like our numbers are going up. So
correct. Well, and here's the deal. Like some people have an opinion on that of like, well, why are people doing that or this? And like here's the deal. The bottom line is people have to sell and buy houses, man. Like whether it's work related, circumstances related, they're trying to save money or they have to sell to pull the equity out to live on, and maybe they're going to go rent for a little while. Who knows? People's circumstances. The bottom line is COVID or not, man, like people have to survive. And part of that is people are going to be having these transactions out of necessity.
And you know what I think is helping, man, is now that, we're come and gone from 2008, people have a point of reference for what a housing recession is like. And they have felt where, hey, home values dropped in, 2007, 2008, but the only people that lost are the only people that sold. So I think right now, even though there's uncertainty where, hey, what are our home values going to do after this? What is employment going to look like after this? People understand, hey, if I buy a house, if I'm planning to live in there for 10 years, as long as I don't sell it in a year or two, if values drop, I'll be good. In 2008, people didn't really have that point of reference, so everyone kind of panic sold. Now I think those same people that own homes still today are like, man, I'm still going to buy a house regardless of what happens to the market. As long as I don't sell, I'm going to be good. People didn't have that reference before, which I think is helping. Yeah,
you got 3.5% interest rates. You're getting free money on it. So it's that's a very motivating factor.
100%. But let's kind of get into it, Jackson. So before we go into like your literal day $1 your starting point, I'm guessing moving to Portland is going to be one of those phenomenal, very literal. Yeah, here's my day $1 in Portland. But can you give people a rundown as far as your channel, what you do with your channel, how you utilize it, what you would give your own job description as? We know you have a partner. Can you kind of like give people some context on what it is that you guys all do, whether it's the YouTube stuff along with the real estate, because you guys are licensed realtors, right? So can you give people just that context before we rewind too far?
Yeah, so the 10,000 foot view right now is I am full-time YouTube. So we get so much business from this. I literally just, my 7-day-a-week grind is YouTube videos. Now we've grown our team massively, which we'll talk about. And not as like buyer's agents, just like bringing top people on who just want to be a piece of us. So I'm directing videos now, and we got videographer, editors. So I'm really handling this marketing department, which is bringing in the business. And then Jesse Dow, my business partners, like that, the quintessential like making sure all the business closes, and then we scale as well. So it's a 2-piece thing. Our YouTube channel is not your listing videos, the I'm a realtor shit. It's no open houses. It's no home tours. It's strictly just value in what people are actually typing into the keyboard. Not only hundreds, but some thousands and tens of thousands of times each and every month. So that's kind of the code I cracked with YouTube.
So when you talk about, because we talk about this a lot, man, when we talk about like, hey, everyone knows you're a realtor. You don't have to keep reminding people. What you need to do is remind them by bringing value. When we talk about how we use Facebook and some of our social media for our like our sphere of influence and all that good stuff. And can you go into that just real quick, man, as far as like what types of videos are you doing that's creating value? And then when you talk about the, treating YouTube like a search engine, what do you mean? Like, for example, how much does it cost to live in Portland, or tips? Hey, top 10 tips if you're gonna live in Portland. Like, what are you doing with your videos where you're treating it like a search engine, and how are you getting those views?
Yeah, that's you nailed it right there. So what happened was,
I
and to
nailed
go
it because
back
I
to
investigated
really
you,
put this
Jackson.
into perspective is like, I was shooting a shitload of videos because I thought Gary Vee had it right, being the digital mayor. So do a bunch of restaurant interviews and shop interviews, and dude, you tell me, I was door knocking businesses like crazy because I thought that was it. So months and months of shooting videos, and the community loved it. And hey, I've been videos, but no deals, like zero. And the day $1 like I wasn't making shit. I'm like, I love video. I'm not a traditional real estate cold caller kind of guy. Like I got to make this work. So then I started discovering SEO. So like search engine optimization. And I started going down these rabbit holes. And here's something that your viewers can do right now is go to Keywords Everywhere. It's a free Chrome extension, or it's not free anymore. It was when I tried, but $10. And it turns your Google bar into a gold mine, basically. So like now everything you search, it tells you how many searches a month there are. And then on the right side of your screen, it actually starts giving you a bunch of other related titles. So I started kind of typing in like just Portland, Oregon, and then like, oh, moving to Portland, living. And then I started down. Yeah, no competition. And that's also the Keywords Everywhere, I will say, is like more of your search. Okay. So actually a lot of this stuff is searched 1, 2, 3, 10 times more in YouTube than it is Google. So we'll talk about that later, how you can really, optimize for YouTube. But yeah, I'm now in one evening, like 2 hours, I have it on my desktop, and I love this podcast. I can say it. I named it the YouTube fucking gold mine. I found 50,000 searches a month, 27 video titles that had no competition. And I called I'm like, I put it out, dude.
Jackson, we're hiring, right? One of the reasons we have you on is we're hiring. We're actually hiring a volunteer to just be so proud of day $1 and be so ambitious about helping a veteran in need.
Now, I want everyone to remember this moment because I am Jewish, but he reminds me that I'm Jewish daily.
Yeah.
Yet he's always the one trying to hire people for free, man.
For free, yeah.
No. No, it's not free. I'm feeding his need for the ambition to help a veteran.
Yeah. Hey, who am I to take that away from you? I apologize, man. Who am I?
You wouldn't believe how nice of a guy I am.
He took Jesus from me. Now he's going to take that. This fucking guy.
Well, and now break that down a little bit for people, man, because, I think it's important. We understand these terms, but I think a lot of agents don't. Can you break down, without getting too technical, what you mean by search volume and search competition and why that ratio is very important?
Yeah. So what happens is, like, now I've kind of cracked this code of what people are searching. So I know which videos to shoot, but you got to find stuff that isn't that competitive. And the funny thing is, when you talk about competition, a lot of that is one in Google. People are paying for those keywords. So like cheap homes in Colorado, cheap homes in Portland. You know who's buying up all those and they're super expensive and competitive is the Redfin, the Zillows. So you're competing, and then you look and you're like, the search volume really isn't that much. So why would I even worry about that? That's more of like a Google click. So you're on Google, you are battling with billions and billions of blogs, dude. It's so hard to rank in Google. But YouTube, when I started going and looking this stuff up in YouTube, I'm like, there is not any videos on this shit. And if there is, it's some random chick who's not a realtor sitting Indian style on her bed with Bob Marley blanket behind her, shooting a cost of living. I'm like, she's like, she has 6,000 views.
Yeah.
So, and here's the deal. And you're also, not to cut you off, but you've got this other type of conversion of you guys are actually realtors. Yeah. So when you're giving this information, you have access and you have, expertise that actually goes hand in hand with what you're shooting. And if people have further interest because they're actually moving there, you guys have that next transition for them to actually help them through the process. And the reason I'm saying that is I want, before we go too far into your guys' smart guy talk, can you talk to us about that day $1 of moving there and what that looked like and how this whole thing just came about, how you met your partner, why you moved to Portland in the first place? Why don't we start there and then we'll start progressing into these conversations?
Let's do it.
Yeah, man. So I'm originally from Northern Coast, small ass town, kind of up by the Canadian border. Coeur d'Alene, if some people have heard, I was a little bit north of that. Super small town, knew everybody there, and was actually a journeyman lineman, worked power lines for 10 years.
Damn.
Hard ass work, grew up working on a ranch, construction, like blue collar as hell, and just kind of got to a point where I looked at that job as like, yeah, I'm making 115K a year and it's really cheap to live here. But like, dude, I fucking hate it, you know? And it's like a prison sentence, 30 years, you clock in, clock out at the same time every day. And I just really wanted to move on. And since I knew everybody in that town, I'm kind of like, hey, what you got over there? I'd love to come work for you, you know? And I kind of learned quickly that I got to do shit for myself. And this Portland thing kind of came up. Funny thing is, one of my friends from Idaho lived here and he was an escrow officer, right? And he came and visited and he's like, bro, you'd be great at sales. Like, and so they kind of worked this thing and I become a freaking sales rep for an escrow company. Moved to Portland.
Oh, funny.
It's like $42,000 commission. You don't make dick, dude. Like,
so for
nothing.
people that don't know, what's an escrow company?
Yeah, so this is where you go and like sign your documents. So us real estate agents, we're going to choose an escrow company for our clients to go sign.
Or
so the way that I got business was working with real estate agents, helping them get business. Then they would send it to me.
So you were like a title rep.
Yeah, I'm a title rep, but I'm also a journeyman lineman and a ranch hand, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah,
but I'm just an outgoing dude. Oh, whatever. So funny thing is, I end up meeting like a couple months in, dude, and I start kind of learning things. Did some Facebook marketing, like I'm a go-getter kind of guy, and I'm like, all right. The one thing I learned was like everybody was talking video, so I'm like, I need to learn this video shit. Like, so I just, dude, I don't care about nothing. I'm just turning phone on, shooting, editing. Like I get a little $200 MacBook, editing on iMovie, and then I'm going to realtors and teaching them, and they're like, cool, great, but then they do anything with it, and I'm like, what the fuck, like. So Jed's like, let's do it. I'll shoot every freaking day. And I'm like, cool. So we start doing that. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, jump over to real estate, man. And I'm like, okay, this will be easy, dude. I can do this. Well, then the $0 starts and you start learning that real estate's like the hardest fucking thing on planet Earth. Yeah. Especially in a new area. I didn't really know anything. So I didn't know the market, the houses. I didn't know the neighborhoods. I didn't know anything. And two, I didn't know anybody. So that's, calling, door knocking, never got one deal from it. I'm so shitty at it, dude.
Well, and let me pause right there, man, because here's something I want to point out. Real estate is difficult, absolutely, yes, but the most difficult part about real estate is that the leadership, there's just terrible leadership. The instructors out there are terrible. There's a lot of terrible training. And most of the training is go knock on fucking doors and send out direct mail.
Terrible. It's terrible. You're right. But it's not that it's terrible. It's because I don't want to disrespect these guys that have been doing real estate forever. It'd be like you buying a car right now and having a really good tape player in it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, it's a really good CD player. Like, hey, no, that is a phenomenal CD player. That will never skip, except for the fact that no one's playing CDs anymore. And there are a lot of things that are outdated. And I do think when it comes to mailers, like I've had some success within my sphere of meeting people at my daughter's school. Cool. And if we go to an ice cream social there and I bring the ice cream truck, it's opening up conversations. So now I'm meeting the parents and it opens up conversations for what we do for work. And then they see my, now if I send that neighborhood a mailer, I've brought value to the neighborhood. They know who I am. They trust who I am. I live in that neighborhood. There is a way to do a mailer. It's a layer. But some people are relying on, they pick some neighborhood, not, of who their typical client that they imagine or pull out of their ass want it to be, but they don't know you. So I think just with where the world's at right now, if you're going to do, the mailers, I'm not even a fan of a door knocking unless you do want to do it for your open house. But if you want to build value, you got to get around the community with community events to get in front of people. And then if those people see your mailer, you're going to be better off. But it's just, man, if you're just trying to rely on that, hard deal. Where people are at is what we talk about, the social media, the YouTube.
Well, and business is just done different nowadays. You know what I mean?
Here's the deal. Like if you can give people their time back, because they're not going to oh, who was that guy that gave us a mailer we threw away? It'll be back next month. We'll wait. No, the fuck you won't. Yeah. You're on YouTube, you're on social media, and someone that pops up that's top of mind, you're going to start asking questions to. And if that person doesn't mess up and they seem like they're professional and they're working at your pace, you're gone. Yeah. You're going.
Yeah. So back to you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, and then it's funny you say day $1. Yeah, like you realize quickly that things cost money, dude, and leads and mailers and all that stuff, but that is kind of what you're taught. And I learned that in the escrow world, like when I would go meet with the PBs, the principal brokers and stuff, like that's kind of what they're teaching. And so every realtor is going into it with that mindset. I learned quickly I just couldn't do it. So I was like, I'm starting to watch Gary Vee every day, and he, Digital Mayor. And we actually started like kind of like a Digital Mayor podcast. Like we were all in on it, and it was cool because, dude, I had the local police department call me like, dude, we love what you're doing in this community. All these videos, we want to team up with you. And me and my partner are like, this is it, dude. Yep. We're going to get so much business from this. And we learned after like 3-4 months doing dozens and dozens of like killer interviews. And I'm not saying it doesn't work. It's great for top of mind. I think people who have lived in an area for a long time, you can sprinkle those in just to stay top of mind. But I'm talking about a brand new agent. Like, it's really hard. So as long as like we had like all these people, we love what you're doing, video stuff, but never once those people weren't in like ready to buy a house or sell a house. So then that was when it hit me like, okay, I love video. I'm going to get business from it. I need to figure out how in the hell I can get it to people who actually want the content, and what is this content? So that's kind of what led me down to figuring out the SEO and the YouTube thing.
And then curious, back up a little bit too. As far as when did you decide that needed to happen? Like you realize, hey, we're putting in all this work. What kept you guys from just scrapping it all together and just saying, hey, this doesn't fucking work, right? And when did you decide, like, hey, this isn't working, but I'm not giving up on it? Because I feel like a lot of people wouldn't even make it as far as you did as far as actually doing the videos. But then once it's not working, they just would have scrapped it and gone back to knocking doors or open houses or whatever. How'd you keep going through that part?
And were you licensed at that point? Or was that one of the kickers where you're like, you know what, I've got to get licensed as an actual broker, as a real estate agent, instead of just doing the title rep / escrow rep? Yeah. Was there a conversion during that same window as well?
Yeah. So once I decided to do the real estate thing, dude, I was like 2 weeks, did the course and, got licensed. So I was full on at this point. I'm full on real estate agent, but Jesse, my business partner, he did 12 million his first year, like cold calling and that, like he's just a boss, dude. And he doesn't even like hit like these long lists. He just like sees houses he likes, goes and he knows how to like have conversations with these people. And, he's trying to teach me that stuff too. And so the problem is, I'm like starting to see, it's been a month, 2 months, I don't have a deal. Like I'll do anything for it. But here I am like looking at a list, expired and shit. And I'm like praying they don't answer. So I'm like, okay, there's that's the worst. So I would rather just sit here and figure this video thing out. So how I kept going was like, dude, I know I'm starting to make really killer videos and people are noticing. I'm like, I got to just start figuring out how I can do this in a way that, works for me. And so like, I don't care. I love being on camera. They in camera, I don't like being in front of or whatever. Like, how was I going to make it work? I was just going to, thankfully I found, kind of the YouTube thing. So it's kind of like, you got to find what you actually enjoy or what you can do. And then you just, you do it, because you're going to fail. Dude, my first YouTube videos for 4 months, 6 months, didn't get views or subscribers. My thumbnails sucked. I didn't optimize, but I just kept uploading. And I would read my analytics and my data and viewers, subscribers, they would be telling me, and my numbers would tell me what works, what doesn't. And so I was able to start like, okay, this works. And then it just takes off. So it's just persistence. I think we talked about this before the camera rolled, dude. If you want to door knock, like I know a guy who's gotten like 15 listings in the past few months from knocking because he just doesn't stop. So I think that's at the end of the day, the general message. And you hear it from every podcast and every leader is like, I just didn't give up, Yeah.
Well, and dude, that's one of our big principles that we teach our agents, man, is, not finding a way for you to conform to real estate, but finding a way to get real estate to conform to who you are.
You have to. You got to find your strengths. And that was big for me. I mean, look at me, Jackson. I'm 250 pounds and tatted and probably don't look like a realtor to most, but because I figured out a way to understand, like, hey, what are my strengths? What have I done in my past? What do I gravitate to? What do I enjoy? Just what am I good at where I can be passionate about it, and I can put the amount of time that's needed to get successful down this lane. And it was with relationships. It was with bringing value. And then for me, it wasn't terribly hard to get the clients, like I'm a people person. I know a lot of people. I converse. They respect my word. I didn't move. I stayed in Denver. I'm from here. So when I was done with everything I was doing with the police work and the Marine Corps, I knew a lot of people. People took me serious, so I was able to dive into that. But what I really started taking off on was, the process of once I already had a client was just managing their emotions and managing the process and preparing them for it, to making sure that it was great. And then as far as market, with the fitness stores and us having to, look at some of that stuff as far as where we decided to put our fitness stores, I did have some background, but that's what I started figuring out was like, nah, man, you don't have to not be a Marine. You don't have to not be a cop and wear the tie if the tie is not your thing, or do this if this isn't your thing. Figure out who you are, and then how do these strengths apply to this industry? And what you'll find is when you do that and you hit it spot on, you end up becoming this unique person that can contribute to the industry, that makes the industry better, that keeps the industry moving forward, not just becoming another tape player. And I'm guessing that's how you feel with your video and some things with how you're using YouTube for a search engine and how we actually get that to convert into clients.
Yeah. The number one thing I learned too, just to literally talk about, being yourself. I found at first I was trying to be like this Portland, I knew all this stuff, and Jesse's very knowledgeable about it. So I was able to like really kind of ask him the questions and interview him, but I was trying to do that too. And it wasn't. So I had that thought one day of like, you know what? I just moved here at the time, a year and a half ago. I wonder if I start telling my story about how hard it was, what I liked, what I didn't like. So I started kind of like moving to Portland, Oregon, my story, and it blows up. Start being myself on camera, and you'll notice me, dude. I mean, I'm a big, tall, goofy guy. Like I own t-shirts, hoodies, and shorts. I hate pants. So like all my videos, dude, I'm just myself. I talk about brewskis in every video, and people are texting me and calling me like, we're coming next week. Can't wait to work with you. And we're going to go buy you brewskis. Like, so it all goes back to, be yourself, like 100%. And that's the people who call me now. Is people like my best friends. So I just was really consistent, worked hard on these videos, acted like myself. And the value I gave was like, now I've done so much research by reading other people's blogs, by literally driving into every neighborhood and vlogging it and walking the streets. And before I do it, I go see where the shops, the restaurants, the schools are. And I relate that information to you. So like now in 2.5 years, dude, I know this Portland Metro better than all of my neighbors around here. Like,
and you were transparent about it, right? So, like you were yourself and you were transparent about what that process looked like. And I think just the whole, and that's kind of like a Gary Vee thing as well, right? When he talks about just don't overanalyze it, but just document what you're doing, right? Don't be romantic. Don't be fancy. Stop trying to fake it till you make it kind of thing. This world is just too transparent for that kind of stuff nowadays, but just document what you're doing. And it might take a little bit longer because you are new, but being honest about it and having that story and then now when you guys are successful, you've been around for a while and people can go binge watch everything that you guys have done and what you've documented since you've gotten there. Just the transparency and the honesty behind it is great. And so moving forward from that, man, like what does it look like, or what did it look like when you started getting the search engine working with YouTube? And then how were you getting in touch with people? What did you put in the video? What did you put in the text to get people to actually watch the video, but then reach out and contact you and actually convert into a real estate deal?
I love this. This is like my favorite part of this because we don't talk as we're realtors. Like, and the number one thing, if you're going to start YouTube, you never open up with your name, who you are, and what you do. Like, that's just, I don't care about that. When you're looking at sciatic pain and someone goes, hey, I'm the greatest doctor of all time, my name's this, and call me, you're like, get out of here. But hey, in this video, I'm going to give you 5 stretching techniques to help you with your sciatic nerve today. You're like, there we go. So you need to open up video. And this is the problem that, because we've been told and you follow the leader. Hey, my name's Jackson Wilkey, top real estate agent here in Portland Metro. Welcome to my listing or my open house and me and my. If you want more, you want to buy and sell your house, call me. And it's like, that's not what you need. So what I learned, and that's when I talk about data analytics, average view time, I was starting to see, okay, when I opened up a video like this video, you're going to learn 7 when you move to Portland to save a bunch of money. So stay tuned. Like people watch the shit out of that because now I gave them because when you watch a video on something on YouTube or whatever, you usually tend to go to that page and say, hey, what's this all about? And if it says Jackson Wilkey Realtor, you're like, But if it says tap to learn everything about living in Portland, Oregon, and oh my God, I'm making the biggest, most scary decision in my life to move to this new city. And this channel has everything I need, like boom, subscribe. And instead of having my number, my email, all that shit on the banner, nope, it's all gone. Literally, there's no mouse traps. There's a lot of reason behind that because number one, YouTube wants to keep people on its platform. So if you're putting your website links all over there and people are clicking off, they're not going to recommend your stuff. So second of all, it's all mindset. Like these people just want help. And if the video comes out and you give them value, here's 7 tips on saving money, or, hey, what's the cost of living of Portland? And then I hit them with, hey, this is Jackson. This channel is literally everything you need to know about moving, living in Portland, Oregon. If that's what you want more information about, hey, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And here's the thing, and I'm kind of getting ahead now. So then I would kind of go with that and get into the video. And so I was starting to get more views, more subscribers, and people watching the videos like crazy. And I'm like, shit, nobody's calling me. What the hell?
Right.
So kind of went back to that. Like, actually I was talking to a lender partner of mine, and the manager of the branch is like, guys, you guys are doing a lot of videos and stuff, but have you ever told anybody to call you? And I'm like, no, it's not my style. He's like, dude, people will use your stuff. Not being mean. They just like, oh my God, this is great videos. And they'll keep watching them until you ask for the business. So I'll never forget the video or where I was at. And I'm like sitting there going, okay, how can I do this? So like I constructed this script in that video that I still use 150 videos later. And what I said was, hey, we get calls, we get calls every single day from people moving and relocating here. And we absolutely love it. If you're even thinking about moving, relocating, if you have questions, hey, reach out to us, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Or even send us that pigeon carrier. I came up with that somehow, and now it's in every video. We got your back when moving to Portland. All right, so in this video, we're going to be discussing where to live in Portland. We're out here in this neighborhood, and like next day, dude, 14 phone calls.
So does the phone number go onto the screen?
Damn.
Do you put it in the text, or do you actually put your
there,
phone number on the
screen? When I do that intro, that call to action, I call it the CTA, which is the most important part. That's my personal CTA. We've heard about call to actions and everything, but like, my YouTube call to action is first, you got to hook them. Then I do my little branding intro, which is me and Jesse. We're riding scooters. We're just being ourselves in Portland. Like it just shows Portland for 10 seconds. And then we come out and, hey, if you're thinking about moving, relocating to Portland, like this channel has everything you need. So it's like hook, value, and then the call to action. And right there, I drag our number up.
So they can see it right on that screen. Boom.
Yep. Right down below me is like right here is like text, call anytime, and whatever, and email. So I also have it in the description of the video, and I have it in the about section, but never anywhere that you can actually see. But dude, if I want to get a hold of you guys, I'll get a hold of you in 3 seconds. I don't need to have it on like your YouTube channel, your Facebook page. I don't need it. I'll find you. And so I get LinkedIn messages, I get DMs, I get personal like text messages, I get phone calls, dude, people text me all the time and say, hey, send in the pigeon carrier your way. Like they will get a hold of you, but you got to give them the value first and then hit them with that call to action.
Yes.
Right.
Now, I also saw in your comments, we're going through and you've got a great amount of views on your videos. You got a huge amount of subscribers, man. But more importantly, your engagement is what I notice most. A ton of comments, a ton of people, and I think I just looked through 2 of your videos and just saw, hey, me and my family would love to come to Portland. And then, hey, we're thinking about moving out there. Are you doing anything with those comments to get them moving forward or to initiate a call to action? Or are you more kind of trying to play cool?
Yeah, it's a mixture of both. My job every morning is now I got 3 channels and 4 and 5 are coming with my sons and stuff. But I engage, dude. One of the biggest triggers to that algorithm of YouTube is engagement, social engagement. So comments. So what I do is I'm going to go read every single comment, and sometimes you get some real shitheads. And unless it's just absolutely atrocious, I leave it. And maybe I'll ask something back. And I can get a text thread going with that guy forever, because that's just telling YouTube like, oh my God, people are liking this and they're engaging with it.
Yeah.
And the other one is, hey, oh my gosh, these videos are amazing. We're thinking of moving in the next few months. So I say, perfect. Hey, whatever questions you have, it's never too early. We've had people plan 2 years in advance. If you have more questions, and I always just text, email.
We're here.
So I'm going through every morning and I'm always engaging because those comments are huge. And if it's just I like this video. Oh my gosh, this video is great. Perfect. What'd you like about it? And then they comment again. So I wanted to get those comments going.
What I want to point out there is a lot of people may think, I don't have time to do that, or I don't have time to do this or that. Here's the thing. You learn day one in real estate, you have to have your set aside prospecting hours, right? If you joined a team or something, or your broker handed you a list of for sale by owners, they're probably going to tell you the same thing. Hey, the first 2-3 hours of your day, you need to be prospecting and calling people, blah, 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 right? This is your new prospecting. This is your new door knocking. So, and people are listening to this, don't think I don't have time for this. Think, hey, what else am I doing that I don't need to be doing right now, where I could take the time, an hour to a day, probably going to take you more than an hour, to go through and reply to the messages that you got before every day.
You
right?
also have to understand too, right? Like if you're going to consider yourself a professional in this industry, and this is something that you want to do for the rest of your life, because we talk about the financial freedom of real estate and the freedom of just time. And hey, I make my own schedule. If I want to go to my kids' baseball games, I don't have to worry about leaving work early. I run my own show, right? Like you're 1099 with wherever you hang your license, or maybe you're a broker of your own world because you've been around long enough and you chose to be a broker or a managing broker. But the bottom line is, you got to take that same ideology of what you want. You got to put the work behind it. And a lot of this stuff, because, you know, Jackson, what you're talking about, like on YouTube, that's what I do on Facebook, man. Yep. I'm in the DMs. And when people are liking, man, I'm commenting into their DMs. I'm thanking them for the support. It has nothing to do with real estate. Maybe it's a video that doesn't even have to do with real estate, but I'm interacting with comments. I'm going into their DM. I'm finding a way to meet them in person. And then people in person, I'm finding a way to like friend. Hey man, what's your Instagram? What's your Facebook? And just people that I see on a constant that aren't on my social media. I get them onto my social media, and then when they're on there and they're liking it, or they tend to comment, I'll comment back. But then I get into my DM and I'm having conversations. But again, like you're trying to build a foundation, and you're trying to build this professionalism with people to be sustainable enough for you to have your financial freedom, your time to do things with family, and for something to have some longevity behind it. Where in the world did you think that you could accomplish all that without putting the work in?
Right. Yeah. Agents, bro.
Yeah. And
freaking realtors.
We got lots of, you know, I have the YouTube agent channel too, that like 103 videos now teaching you exactly how to do this. And I get all these agents, they'll, oh dude, like every day, dude, personal messages, emails, whatever. Hey, I posted a video yesterday and only got like 3 views. What's wrong? Like you said to do this and you get views. And I'm just like, dude, and they don't realize the struggle. So like these like top producing agents, they didn't get there in a day, dude. Like they freaking battled, dude, like every day. And so like as a YouTuber and really trailblazing this for real estate, like, dude, you would not believe 7 days a week shooting hundreds of videos and uploading them and not getting views, and 4 to 6 months, like almost pulling the trigger or pulling the plug because I couldn't get the business. So like, dude, I just stayed consistent and learned and uploaded hundreds of videos. And that's how I got to where I was. So it doesn't matter what you do, you know, we're going back, but I get this every day from lots of realtors that they'll post 2-3 videos and they get no views. And I'm like, okay, here's the biggest search engine on planet Earth behind Google, but Google owns it. But when it comes to moving to a city and getting information, it dwarfs anything on planet Earth. It's not going to just reward you by one video. Its goal at the end of the day is to keep as many people on its platform as possible. And if your lame ass video for the first one, because you need to do a bunch to get good, isn't keeping people on for more than 2 minutes, 3 minutes, why would it put your video out there when it can put one like mine that's going to keep people on for 8, 9, 10 minutes?
You got to show that you're serious. You got to show that you're committed. Imagine like YouTube being like, you know, someone's parents.
Yeah.
I'm not, hey, look, we go on a date, right? That's like video 1. I'm not introducing you to my parents. Are you out of your mind? Like if I don't know that you're quality, if I don't know that you're consistent and that you're serious, and we've had a duration of time to prove that sustainability, you're not going to meet my parents. So imagine like YouTube,
it's a great analogy,
being the mothership, right? And it's like, hey, if you're going to be consistent in some certain things, and like it's going to bring it up and it's going to show it in front of people, and the interaction is just huge, because not only are people commenting, but when you're commenting back, it's also showing that whoever runs that channel is engaging with their audience. It's not just their audience engaging. And here's the deal. The Joe Rogans of the world and whoever that like just choose not to comment on YouTube videos and they get pretty weird. I'm sure a lot of their comments are super weird sometimes and they just don't. But they're at a completely different level, and they were around 14 years ago when it wasn't even a thing. That's different.
Yep.
Right now, if people are interacting and they're commenting, that's a great thing. Yes, if you take the time to go in and interact back, you're just going to capitalize on that traction that the algorithm sees.
Yep.
Well, there's no like converting anymore. So that's the cool thing about this with a personality like mine. Like, look, dude, I know everybody. I can go into a crowd and everybody's going to remember me within 5 minutes type of guy. I just super outgoing and fun. So like for me to have these people reach out and freak the fuck out. I'm talking, I have 2 of them recorded on my YouTube agent channel. Like, oh my God, is it really you?
You're a celebrity,
Honey,
man.
It's Jackson. It's really him. Holy shit. Oh my God, we're moving. So,
that's
dude,
awesome.
I'm telling you the truth. Like, dude, I will answer comments and phone calls all day long when they're like that. So now people are calling me. There's no converting.
Yep.
And listen to this, guys. This is a real statistic, dude. In the last like 4 months, we've given out over $12 million in listing referrals to agents in different states.
Oh.
Here's exactly how it goes. These people call Jackson. Oh my God, I can't even believe it's you on the phone. Like the video does that. I don't care if you're the weatherman or whatever. You see a guy on TV, he's a star. So
celebrity,
like,
man.
We always get that comment like, oh my God, I feel like I'm talking to a fucking movie star. This is crazy. So cool. Hey, no, this is really me. So you guys are moving here. Do you guys got to sell your house in order to buy here? They're like, yeah, actually, we were just thinking about putting on the market. Perfect. You probably already have an agent, but hey, if you don't, or if you want a second opinion, we actually have the top agent there. And what we mean by this is that if you want to, you need to use the proceeds from your house there to close here. They're like, oh yeah, of course. And okay, so we can do this. We can actually close the same day. You'll close on your house there and close on your house here. But the communication has to be 100. Like we've had other agents do this and the communication isn't there. And sometimes you got to rent a hotel for a week. We just don't want to see that. So make sure your realtor that you have has strong communication skills and is very good. Second of all, now when we stay in contact, we'll be with the escrow company and we'll have everything done for you so that all you got to do is focus on moving here. And they're just like, just send your guy over, please. 6% every time, no questions. They sign. And so, yeah, we've given out just over 12 million in listing referrals. So we're getting 35% on those too. So, I mean, it's 35. It's crazy.
I did the math.
Value we're giving these people is like, okay, just do everything for me. And that goes into, I'm going to keep rapping on this because now our lender, Addison Net, he's been in a bunch of videos. Now he is on so what we do is these calls come in, we average about 5 to 6 a day now, sometimes, double digits, sometimes 3, 4
incoming calls,
incoming emails, text, whatever. And we have buyers agents who handle, I actually don't even, answer any of these anymore. I literally just focus on bringing in the business or
taking like an initial call, right? Like when people actually call you, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's Jackson. From there, like, they kind of go down through the process, but you're still handling like the initial calls if they reach out to you.
Actually, I don't anymore. None.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're a big deal.
And that's not like I don't have time for them type of thing, but honestly, I don't. But what happens is you guys know this too. Once the thing goes into too many hands, shit gets lost and falls through the cracks. So that's what we learned early on. So the funny part about this was I actually in the first few videos put my personal number and email in there, not thinking anything would happen.
Yeah.
To this day, I still get phone calls and emails on my personal shit all the time. I was getting so many, I was lost. And I'm not a guy who's very organized in that sense, but I'm like the epic grinder. So like I will work. But when it came to closing, I didn't know the processes. So like, that's when Jesse's like, hey, all these people are calling. What's going on with them? Like, oh, they'll probably call back. They'll be here in like 30, 60 days. Like, no, dude, it doesn't fucking work like that. He's
That's
like,
not what he said. He literally looked at you and was probably like,
he goes, give me everybody who called you. And this is where he is like a mastermind, right? I mean, he can do the shit in 10 seconds where it take me 2 hours. He goes, give me all your notes. Single person
he can take that advisory role on very serious. Like, and I think that's where my strength is. Like when we start meeting clients, just my normal talk when we go through stuff, people tend to trust what I say and I've got a good word with them. And naturally, just from years of leadership and different things that I'm doing, naturally, I tend to take a polite advisory role and I start letting them know, hey, great. So are you familiar with the next steps? No. What next steps? Well, great. Whether it's now or a year from now, here's what this looks like. And here's what we should be doing to be proactive in moving this forward and some of that communication. And then Eli is really good on the back end. He can organize all the rhetoric that I'm running my mouth about. He's really good at organizing that back end, if that makes sense. He organizes my back end.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, I do. Oh, I do.
Yeah, all these calls come in, dude, and I don't know if the screen's going to show it because it's kind of bright, but
there
like,
you go, yep.
I've got literally like
that's your YouTube number.
Yeah, all those say, and they all say YouTube. So
Jackson,
it's their name YouTube.
Those all say Tinder. It was like someone's name and then Tinder. Someone's name and then Tinder. Like, go to the other file.
So I got like 100 of these, and I just would save them as like John Doe, YouTube, whatever. And like, that was my organization.
So who's your go-to in Denver, man? Just super curious who I need to like take off the map.
The funny thing is we have not had a listing out of Denver yet, but we've converted 2 people who said they were going to move to Denver, but said, dude, your videos in Portland they sold us. We're moving to Portland.
But if you needed guys in Denver, but if you needed some guys in Denver, you got some guys in Denver.
He's got 1,000%, dude, 1,000%.
And if we got people in Portland that are moving to Denver, right? Like vice versa. I'm being
what we
funny,
do,
but I'm
honestly,
shedding light
is-
on some of the relationships of just networking in general and just
Yeah.
bringing people value and offering value first. And, you know, I'm obviously being funny, but it's true, man. Like when you got guys that are very like-minded, that are similar, that are bringing value, that are changing the industry, why the hell wouldn't we be talking to you if we had someone that was moving from Portland and had to move from Denver?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And we actually, I mean, this is definitely Jesse's area too, that he, first of all, we kind of look out to YouTube to see if there's anybody out there. And what we found is really, there's none.
Nope.
Second of all, dude, we want our clients taken care of. And like, we've had some deals fall through where sorry to say that, but shit agents just like did not do anything that they should have. And like, we're trying to coach them, or Jesse is basically, to, you know, because they're moving here, dude. Like, we got to close their shit here, and that realtor there ain't doing it. So we kind of go through a filter process of like, can you close a fucking deal for us so that we can close ours? But yeah, I mean, like, going back to that, literally, and this is where if you have your strengths, like, that's what you focus on, and then you delegate or you partner. And so we partnered, and to really go back, the day $1 epic story was Jesse believed in me. Like, we didn't have any business yet, and this took, you know, 6 months to really dial in. But like, those first few months, he just like, Jackson, dude, everything I tell you to do, like Facebook marketing, video, whatever, I just learn it right this quick. So he's like, I'm going to give you 20% of my business just so you can stay afloat. I got kids, wife, whatever. So he like took that risk, and then that really motivated me. Like, okay, I want to, because he's like, as soon as you can get enough business to equal mine, we'll just do a 50-50 partnership. And so you talk about grind mode, dude. Now I'm taking 20% of this dude's business. Like, it just triggered me, and I went balls to the walls. And now 95% of our business is all YouTube from this. So that's the day when we had this conversation, and he's like, dude, what's up with these people? And I kind of blew up too. I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't know, dude. I don't know Northeast Portland and all this other shit. And he's like, just hand everybody to me. You focus on YouTube. I'll do this. So he ended up putting 14 deals in escrow the next month, just by following up with these people. And it's not like they weren't, like, some weren't going to call us, but again, people will just use your content and not being mean, and just use, move up there, go to an open house.
Well, they don't know any different.
They
just don't know they don't necessarily know any different. And that's huge. I'm glad you talked about like some of your guys' frustrating but productive conversations, because this is something that Eli and I, we talk about, just productive conflict, of just productive debate or productive conflict, however you want to look at it. All right, I'm the guy that's great at this. Great job. This is a positive thing that you're getting a ton of phone calls. We've just got to make sure that we follow up on the back end over here. And then he takes the initiative to like, all right, cool. Like, that's my area. Give those to me. Let me grab it. And then even though it's not a fun conversation, there's a little bit of like friction or conflict on the surface. When you dig deep into those conversations, it's okay if there's some emotion involved. It's okay if you're not always each other's best friends, but it's productive because it created a resolution to something that converted into fucking deals,
more business,
making money,
more business,
100%.
More deals. And then like, you have that opposite end of the spectrum. Like, if there was two of me, we'd have a lot of phone calls and leads and shit, but like,
you'd end up being like
we wouldn't be closing them.
hotline
and then there was just him
service.
like, I really, I love the camera, and I love getting on these videos and shooting, and like, I know how to structure YouTube and do this stuff. So like, it's real yin and yang. And we've definitely had those conversations, dude, where it's like, and we know what we're building, and so we're super passionate about it. And sometimes we both like got to kind of reel back, and then we've had those tough conversations to they end in a fucking hug, dude, a bro hug.
We've had some of those.
then you're back in it. But like, that's the thing. Now we really know. We've scaled this. We know how to like properly field all these calls, get them onto a Zoom call. Number one, get those people on a Zoom call, because dude, there's so much back and forth. If you just get on a Zoom, first of all, the clients love it. Second of all, our lenders on there, 90% of the questions are lending.
So you and your partner and your lender on the Zoom call, or now is it your partner and the lender, or what does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, right now it's our buyer's agent, Heather. She fields every phone call, email, text, whatever, right? And even if I still get them on my personal, whatever, I will just forward them over to her. She says, great. Hey, you're moving. This is Heather, Jackson and Jesse's assistant. Let's get you scheduled on a Zoom call. Great. She does all that. And then our lender and Heather, our buyer's agent, and then usually Jesse, just so we actually found out that if we were still converting, but if Jesse or I was not in those, it
was
just
harder.
was not as
especially when they come through your guys' videos, man. Especially when, like when you're a part of the brand, people definitely want to feel like. I think people understand that, hey, something's big, something's growing. People get busy. You might not be around for like every second of the day or every second of a transaction, but I think that they want to feel that connection and they feel that you're there. They don't want to feel like they just got handed off and this is like some type of funnel. They want to meet you guys and enjoy it.
That was one of those tough conversations. Like, and it is, as long as one of us is there, it's like, okay, these guys are real. Yeah. Now we're good. Yeah. And then our buyer's agent's such a rock star, dude. She, like, everybody loves her. So like, it's almost good that, you know, it happens this way because she's just a rock star.
But they want to see you guys first.
Addison, our lender, dude, he's answering questions. He's done over 200 Zoom calls in just the last like month, I think he said. So, I mean, we're getting crazy calls on this. Yeah. But now, like, he stays in front of these people, and this is something that has turned into obviously so much business for him. He's paying for our in-house editor, videographer. He bought us a $20,000 podcast studio. Yep. He moved companies to a bigger one that got us our own like 4-office building, podcast studio, recording studio. So he's taken the measures to really grow this thing because, I mean, right now he's got over 50 active buyers on his plate, and we've closed like 20 million in YouTube deals. Yep. So like, yeah, he knows the power of it. And that's something that was a beautiful thing that like now a lot of this to scale, here's our lender partner who's just like us and a grinder and a hustler who on a Sunday morning at 5 a.m. because someone's in New York, dude, he's on that call.
On that Zoom call.
So important.
Friday night at 5 a.m. he's on that call, dude. So yeah, we align.
You know what
ourselves
I love about that? And
hustlers.
And you're saying it, hey, we align ourselves with hustlers. Let's boil that down because hustlers, people use that word a lot, right? And then some people maybe aren't hustlers, or when people hear that, like hustlers, what does that mean? In addition to, you know, finding people that are quote unquote hustlers or that meet your ambition, I think something that Eli and I have found some success with is you got to find super sharp, super proficient people that are also somewhat within the same just chapter or time frame of their business. Because we've got friends, man, that have been around 20 years and they're phenomenal and they do a great job, but they're divisional VPs and they're so busy they can't commit to a certain amount of workload. They got to hand it off to someone at their company, but someone that at their company that's getting spoon-fed doesn't necessarily take care of it how we want it taken care of. So, you know, like one of the lenders that we use specifically, you know, phenomenal guy, Scott Leffert, super sharp, super good dude, but he's also in that mode of like building his team and building himself. And he's still in that mode where he understands and he doesn't have another choice. He's still in grind mode by necessity, but he understands the value we all have together. And then we're all just on it, you know, versus some of the other guys that we have that are just phenomenal people that I love as human beings that we can go do events with and have some fun with. They're not in the place of that grind. They're not taking that application for you.
They're golfing at 1 and
or they got dedicated family time, or no, man, I'm not answering my call for an app, or no, I'm not going to someone's house for an application, like because they're a divisional VP now. That's not necessarily their job. So it's super important to not only align yourself with, like you said, hustlers, but the timing of where they're at in their career. If people are in that time frame of it's necessary to be a hustler and they're really good at what they do, and you're both kind of like, hey, you're good at what you do, they're good at what they do, and you're both in hustle mode out of necessity, it's great. Because, man, we've got a good friend, and he loves to hustle, but his hustle level when he's been around 25 years and he's a divisional VP, he's hustling with other stuff. He's not necessarily hustling where we got to hustle. And I think it's important to understand that because no matter how much someone wants to do that, you got to identify that, hey, that guy just can't go do incrementally everything that you have to do right now. He's moving bigger fish up here, playing the politics side of stuff with what he has to do versus, hey, people that are hustling out of necessity at your similar time frame.
Jackson, walk me through your production and 2 phases of it. When you were first starting out before the in-house editor and all that stuff, is it cell phone? Do you have lav mics? Like, you know, are you doing your keyword research, finding out what people are wanting to learn, and then going on site and doing the video? And what does your production look like now? What kind of gear are you using? What kind of editors, all that stuff?
Yeah. So number one, you got to do your research and find out what the hell to shoot. Again, you don't want to just shoot a bunch of random ass videos. So find out your titles. And then what I can say to really make this easy is like, dude, you're in Colorado, and I don't know a lot of the main suburbs around you, but like, dude, living in Denver, and every major city around you is probably searched 30, 60, 80,000 times a month, if not more. So like what I knew immediately was like, I started kind of doing the cost of living, pros and cons of living in my area. You know, people are kind of like, should I live here? What? And be honest about that. Like, dude, it's the Northwest, it's Portland. It fucking rains here. If you don't like rain, don't move here. You know, it's Colorado, it snows. You don't like snow, don't fucking move here. So you just kind of have that open. So I was doing these videos and they're great. And those are actually some of our better ones. But I started kind of thinking like, dude, I think these people really, like, these cities are getting searched a lot. And all there is blogs. Like, nobody's walking these streets. So I'm like, Jesse, dude, let's go start shooting like because I started seeing like top 5 neighborhoods and stuff. And I'm like, let's go out and shoot one day, dude. And so like we shot like top 5 neighborhoods. We drove into them. I walked the streets and we talked about the different style of living and uploaded that. And like the response is really big. And I'm like, damn, this is cool. So to talk about what I use was like, right here, dude, this freaking cell phone is what I started everything with no microphones, no nothing. If you're in an office or your house or wherever, like, this is all you need is your phone. These have the most incredible video ever and good sound. But when we went vlogging, I started doing the gimbal so that it would hold still. But then I realized, you know, it was a little windy, whatever. I needed a microphone. So I plug a microphone in. And then I was like trying to get me and Jesse in there. Wasn't wide enough. So I found a clip-on lens. So I got like all this attachment shit and it was too heavy for the gimbal. And I'm like spending hundreds of dollars on this shit. I'm like, so I go back to the drawing board and Jesse's the kind of guy, thank God, who's just like, hey, if it's going to help us grow our business, I don't fucking care. Just
I feel like I'm Jesse. I feel like I'm a version of Jesse and Eli's definitely a version of you.
I think we're combos of both is how I feel.
Yeah. And I will literally like, and this is my obsession, like just like when I research titles or doing, when I research shit, I go deep, dude. So I'm doing DSLRs, point and shoot cameras. What's the best camera to vlog? And I'm looking at shit all the way up into the $5,000-$6,000 range. And I kind of go back to like the GoPro had just released the Hero 7 Black and it had built-in stabilization and super wide angle lens and shot up to 4K. And I'm like, those are all my pain points. Is that the cell phone doesn't have, is that it's not stable and it's not wide. So I kind of started watching some reviews and the GoPro at the time was like strap it to your head or your chest or whatever. It wasn't for vlogging. So I make this contraption. I don't know if I even got it in here. Oh yeah, there it is. Hold on. I make this freaking Frankenstein right here.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
So like $10 tripod. I have all these extra nuts and bolts on here because when I first put my Rode Video Micro, which this is a crazy good microphone with a windjammer, this thing is so wide that my little fuzzy muff was in my fucking point of view.
Gotta watch that fuzzy muff, man. You gotta trim that. You gotta trim that up once in a while, dude.
Whose hairy vagina is filming Jackson right now?
Strapping the GoPro in all the wrong places.
This is just like kind of my OG setup. So like stacked it up and went and started shooting videos of this thing, and I was like, woo, this is nice, dude. I can haul ass running down the street, which we do all the time, whatever. I'm trying to catch stuff. And it's dead ass steady, dude.
Really?
So no gimbals needed. It's like $300. So I'm like, Jesse, I think the GoPro is going to be it. And he's like, just fucking buy them. In fact, buy me one too.
Wait,
so
and for our listeners real quick. So you have like a little Gorilla Pod thing there. And then you've got a GoPro on top of that. And then you have a wide angle lens on top of the GoPro lens. And then Rode.
No, that's just a cover. Like,
oh, that is.
Dude, this lens on the GoPro is so wide.
It's already wide.
That's how the case is. This is just a glass cover.
Gotcha. And then you have the Rode Video Micro mic, right? You don't need any Bowers or anything for that, right? Just plugs in.
So here's the cool thing now. Like I said, when I did this, they didn't. This wasn't for vlogging. Everybody vlogged with like the point and shoots and the whatever. So now if you go to like Amazon, you type in GoPro vlog, dude, there's 80 million vlogging kits. Like this is what and I really think we've trailblazed this for real estate because I get this question every day, you know, and so everybody's got this set up. But now there's a mod kit that stacks right on here for your microphone and then plugs straight in. So you don't need kind of all this.
And then you just use like, and then that mic is great if you guys are talking. Do you ever like use lav mics instead? Or does that,
no, dude,
that mic is plenty?
This is the boss hog, dude, because it's a shotgun style. So
you're always within arm's reach because you're holding it, right? So you're
always within arm's reach, and I can get at arm's reach, dude, like this. I can literally get 5 to 6 people with me. It's that wide.
Huge.
Yeah.
And what happens is I've learned too, is like, I'd be talking, all right, today we're in Irvington, we're in the main street right over here. That's the Lloyd district. And so I would turn my head and start talking. Well, it doesn't pick up your voice because it's shotgun style.
Yeah.
So you really got to be looking at it, but I'm talking windy days, traffic, people yelling, like it really muffles a lot of that out.
Yeah.
And it's crystal clear audio because dude, the video can be whatever, like as long as it's not too just nasty. That audio has to be 100. If not, people bounce, dude.
100%.
Is that still what you guys use now?
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
Gangsta.
We have two of them. I got them around here. I got a little cartoony that I've made. That's my like signature style. Like it's me as a cartoon holding the vlog and camera. I mean, that's
dude,
just
some of the best
everybody
advice we got, man. And I can already tell, man, I know we're already going over an hour, but I want to keep you for a little bit longer and kind of just let the audience hear, like, you know, so now literally we've gone over like what your day $1.0 is, but how are you guys still approaching every day like it's day $1.0? And then just forecasting for the audience, what are you guys growing into now? Where are you guys going in the next couple of years? But I can already tell, man, if you're okay with it, it's probably going to be great to just get you back several times over the next couple of years and just really giving some insight as far as you guys being the tip of the spear and just relaying a lot of information as far as what's working, what's not working at your level. And I can already see how that trickles down.
Yeah. And it is. And I'm the kind of guy, dude, I'll bullshit every day about this. Obviously, you know, this is really starting to capture people's attention. So I've been on a lot of podcasts and I can talk about it every day.
Awesome.
So that's kind of where my passion, my baby is the YouTube. If you type in YouTube agents, that's my YouTube channel, teaching agents. There's nothing I don't give away. Like it's 100% all there. If you want to do this today, it is a lot of hard work, but that's my baby. Like I freaking love teaching this.
Do you guys have a school or something people could pay for? Like if they're going through your free content and they're like, hey man, I'm just having a hard time taking the free content without being able to be mentored or have questions. Like, is there something that upsells into? And we're familiar with that concept. We love the concept. Give everything away for free. But when people realize how hard it is or what you have to do, there's just questions and there's layers to it, especially when it comes to their situation specifically.
Or people want to get on camera and then have someone else do all the other shit.
Yeah. What does that look like as far as, do you guys, you know, do you have a school or course? Do you do mentorship? Do you have people that can get hired out to help people with their editing? What does that look like for you guys business-wise?
Yeah, inevitably it all worked into that because everybody was reaching out. So I do have a course, man, and it's really the start to finish, like it all in digestible content. And that's the one thing I took some real estate courses in my day, and I found out that a lot of them had 30-minute, 60-minute, 90-minute videos, and nobody's going to watch that. And I didn't. So all my stuff is like 3 minutes. The longest is like 12 minutes. And that's like a full, like, hey, we're going to set up your channel. Has to be set up right. So yeah, man, I've got a course from A to Z. We do some killer 5-day boot camps. But what I found is, you know, once I started doing the course and people would take it, and again, it's a little much. Jackson, what do you have? Can you just do this? So that worked us down to where we have a full-fledged marketing agency. I know how hard this is. First of all, we're going to send you your title. So once you sign on, we actually go in and do all this research for you and give you the exact titles. All you got to do is shoot those. You send them to us. We are going to upload those. We're going to edit them first. And so then we send it to you, and you can go through there and stop it at any minute marker and add your comments. Do this, do that, whatever. And then we upload that. We do your titles, tags, descriptions, SEO, everything for you, and schedule it. So literally there's nothing we don't do, whether it's, if you're a go-getter, go to my YouTube agent channel, just start watching those. You'll do it. If you need a little bit of help and guidance, like structure, the course is amazing. If you're a busy dude and you just want to build this legacy brand, like my brand's never going away. Living in Portland grows exponentially every day. Every single day, I'm getting thousands and thousands of views, and it's only growing because this platform is 100% free and organic. So you talk about building brand and stuff, like, dude, I got the biggest brand ever. So if you like really just want that and don't want it, you know, then we have the full-fledged agency too. So we're personally to like, now where we're going is the best thing in the world, guys. Like, I can't even stress this enough, dude. I love helping people. And so like now we're getting all these local agents, and I'm talking ballers, dude. Like, hey, I've been watching everything you guys are doing. I just want to be a piece of it. Like, I want to be a part of it. I don't know how. So we strategically, Jesse, you know, basically we moved over to EXP, which was really hard because we thought it was the multi-level marketing.
Yeah.
We dove into it. And
we talk shit about it all the time here.
Yeah, and it is, dude. And trust me, I was like, no, dude. And
well, here's why you were like, no, because usually the people that are the most loud about it, they are multi-level marketers.
Yeah.
They were never good at doing deals. They were never happy where they went. They go there, and then before they've even been there for 5 minutes, they're trying to sell it to you because they want to make money.
That was so hard. Yeah, dude. It was like all these meetings of like, because they knew what we were doing, and they're like, oh, these guys would be great in our downline. So they open with like the revenue share, and I don't even want to work anymore. I just want this money. And I'm like, dude, you're a fucking loser, man. Like, here I am grinding, and you want to try and recruit me that way. So we went through it, dude. And Jesse does not make uncalculated moves. Like the dude did like 3 months of research, and he's like, holy shit, like I think we can really grow this because the model behind it is value. What can you give somebody? So now we have this huge real estate YouTube channel, and we have these people reaching out. Well, now they can come join us, and instead of doing like a team split and we take their business, dude, I'm going to build your brand. I'm going to build your separate playlist. You're going to get all this YouTube business and recognition, and I'll teach you how to podcast yourself in our studio. All I ask, I'm going to shoot your videos, edit them, upload them. We split those YouTube deals 50-50. 100% of the rest of the business you've grinded for and worked for is yours. I don't even want it, dude. And they're like, where do I sign? Yeah. So now we're bringing agents on where there's zero overhead, there's zero training. All I need them to do is talk about their niche. So we have Portland, Oregon, and Vancouver, Washington, which is about 15 minutes to the north of us. Pretty well covered. But like, okay, now we want a Spanish-speaking one. So I'm building a channel for a Hispanic kid. We have a gal who knows new construction. So now she joined us. She is all new construction. She goes to these developments and talks about them. We have a kid who's a grinder, and he always wanted to be a luxury agent. And so I said, I'll build your brand, dude, because he wanted to be a part of us. Now he's out doing these luxury community tours, luxury home tours, and I'm building his brand. And we have these two gals that joined us for Salem, Oregon. We're getting coastal agents. We're doing Vancouver, Washington. So now we're growing this thing and this is all in a year's time. Like I posted my first video like a year ago.
And dude, now you're on the biggest podcast on the planet out of Denver. And you're talking
literally,
you're talking
dude.
to,
So this is where
a special operations command guy. You know what I mean? Like you're talking to the Marine Corps Jocko, bro.
Shit.
And now
I literally said this yesterday. I think I'm going to change my YouTube channel name from living in Portland, Oregon to just living in Oregon, because now we can scale this. We got a kid who's probably going to do, Bend, Oregon. That's 3 hours away. And the thing is, you don't need separate channels for this. I have the nucleus, dude. My channel will rank for anything that I put out there.
And why try to recreate it when it's already there and the traction that it gets and the things that it goes? And if you can show that everyone's exactly. And if people go and they love you guys, but then they see the other affiliations, look, if they love you, they're going to trust that anyone on your channel that's in a different remote area, they're going to trust that person too, man. It's huge. And
so that's kind of where we're going and scaling this thing is we're really just kind of, now we're spreading out and we bring these people on. We've named, we're the Real Agent Now group. So when someone else comes on, hey, this is, Juliana with the Real Agent Now group. I'm your Salem South Metro specialist, and boom, they go. Baller. Now all that work of me shooting, I've moved into more of a director role. So I'm helping them with their lines, exactly how to structure these videos until they get it. We got a videographer, editors, and just really growing that way.
Phenomenal, man. I appreciate you sharing that. I know you got one more question, and then we got to get running.
What's your course called, and what's your full service called, and how do people get in touch with you about that?
Yeah, honestly, the easiest thing is we have the YouTubeagents.com.
No. Go back a year ago to where his cell phone is still on the video and call him out on his cell phone.
I'm going to go find that one,
I'll find that shit.
Bro, cost of living, pros and cons videos is my personal number, and I get those calls all the time.
Awesome.
Or just a simple email, info@theYouTubeagents.com.
Okay.
That way you can tell me kind of what you're thinking about, and I can forward on the information. And dude, now my days are a lot is scheduled calls with agents. Like they're really inquiring about this. So I'm doing lots of calls.
Well, great, man. Well, hey, stay on the line for a minute, man. We're going to exit this thing out and wish people a happy Friday. And I'm going to go get my sciatica rubbed on, which is why, cause we're getting close to 12:30. I got a really buff, I can't say it's race because then it sounds racist. I got a dude who does not cut me any breaks who's about to make some more progress on my back. Hey, what a pleasure, man. Stay on the line for a minute. We got a couple questions for you, and I'm sure we'll hang out for a quick sec after we exit this. But to everyone else, man, hope you got value out of this. Find us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Google Play, all that good bullshit, Facebook, and enjoy your weekend. Happy Friday.
Day $1, 0 out.